What a glorious day it is today. This is a good day to go out and be productive. Look at them trees behind me. It's amazing. Look at that. What a freaking beautiful system. And again, the Lord has blessed us with another day. It's a beautiful day to sit here with the sun eclipsed by my large head as I eclipse the sun with my big dome. I have to be thankful today for this, a sausage. I have been blessed by Walmart. I am enjoying the fruits of the Walmart Plus system. But a beautiful day out there. It's a beautiful day to go out and look for Bigfoot. Possibly, if I can get myself to do it, which I probably won't. Good day to hit the lake. However, the problem I have, there's always a problem. Whenever you involve people, life's always going to be a problem because of expectation. Everybody expects something. So when their needs aren't met, they get a little bummed. And the reality is that when I go fishing, the first thing I hear is, give me all your money. Because I want to go fish. And they want money. There's a lot of hungry people out there. Don't let looks deceive you either. Smiling faces as you walk through the door. Be extremely wary of those smiling faces. Because they'll get you. They'll get your money. This sausage asks for nothing. This sausage says nothing, does nothing, but gives me fuel so my big head can eclipse the sun. These are Walmart sausages. I purchased them with my own money. And I'm currently on a regimented diet. I've lost 12 pounds. So I'm not going to say how much I weigh. Not that it matters. But this sausage is protein. So I love this sausage. But it was a glorious day out. I hear that daily from the better half. It's a glorious day. It's a beautiful day. But she has a job to go to. And has a lot of confidence. Me, on the other hand, it's not that I don't have confidence. It's just I don't have anything to do. If I go fish, I have confidence to catch fish. But the reality is, I'm finding, is that when you have too much time on your hands, sometimes it's a good thing, other times it's really not very good. Yesterday I did a lot of cleaning, car cleaning, house cleaning. And I had to stop myself and be like, you know what, dude? Even though I don't feel grateful at times because I feel a little bit down because of my meningitis, post-meningitis journey, which really messes with the old cabeza. I have to say I'm pretty thankful. Even though I don't have a lot, I have to say I'm thankful because, well, I remember when I was in the hospital, there was another girl that died that had the same condition as I did. She was only 23 years old. And I was 43. And soon I will be 63 years old. Very soon I will be 63 in about a month. Here's something else that's very good for you. Sriracha. As I look out at this glorious day, I can't help but notice all the pollen. There's a lot of pollen out there. And, so I don't think I will be going fishing today. Maybe tomorrow. I have a friend that always says, I say, well, I should go fishing. He says, well, there's always tomorrow, Dave. And some of the things I notice that older people talk about is there's always tomorrow. They say, well, I got to get out there. Well, there's always tomorrow. You don't have to do it today. And that got me thinking. Maybe that is the key to aging. There's always tomorrow. Most people say, you might not be here tomorrow. But you know what that means? Is that you have to rush through life. Because everybody's afraid there'll be no tomorrow. So they got to get everything done. Which includes driving 100 miles an hour on the freaking freeway. Or just doing stupid stuff that pisses other people off. So I realize that even though I'm aging, I'm getting older, I'm also finding that there is no need to rush. Because if I feel there's a need to go fishing, for instance, then I'll miss the experience, the positive experience of it, because I'll feel like I need to do this, I have to do this, I have to get it done. And that's the plight of our society, is this constant thinking of I need to get it done. But as you get older, you realize it might be tomorrow. It might not be tomorrow, but if there is a tomorrow, there's always tomorrow. Why do it today? Now, granted, back in the day, there was a constant rush for me. I was always in a hurry. Drinking coffee, 100 miles an hour, driving down the freeway for an hour and a half to get to a job sometimes. I don't have that anymore. I just have silence. And 2 cars that I can go and drive off and go wherever the heck I want to go. Which is kind of a good feeling, to have those resources. But those resources came at a price. They came at a price. A lot of work. A lot of deadlines, a lot of jobs I had to show up on. Work all day as a Sparky. And the times in the Marines and the Navy also. Not to mention the other times where I ended up homeless and didn't know what I was doing. But as much as it sounds like people had things together, um, sometimes they don't. It may appear they got things together, but sometimes we just don't really have it all together. And that's where that whole thing is saying, it's always tomorrow. Don't pay the insurance today, pay it tomorrow. Why bother today when you can do it tomorrow? Now the drug thing, there was huge drugs in the 80s. I don't know what people are talking about. The 80s was so great. The 80s was fueled, at least where I'm from, by meth. Fueled by meth. Women doing it, workers were doing it. People would do meth in freaking offices. If you worked at a pizza place, there was always an office there, and people would be doing the meth in the office. And on the line, because you had to go fast. So what'd you need? You need some go fast. That's what people used to call it, to go fast. And you'd go fast for an hour. So the slowing down of life and saying, hey, I could do it tomorrow, is starting to kind of work for me. I don't really feel any need to go dashing off to do anything. I have those feelings, but then I just don't do it. Because I figured, why do it today? I can do it tomorrow. It used to be a time I had to do it now. You have to get out there now. I don't have to get out nowhere anymore. And that's why it's important to slow down, look at your life, and don't judge your life based on what you're doing or what you accomplish. Even being in the Marine Corps I have no sense of pride at all for serving in the Marines. I don't really care. To me, it was a job. But you'll hear all these companies and people talking about how great the military is and how much we care about our veterans. Meanwhile, the veterans are out there freaking living in the sewer. But you always got some clowns, man, women, whatever, hyping up the veterans, hyping up the wounded warrior, whatever program they got going on. It's all a sham. And it takes age to realize it, that it's all just a sham. And it doesn't matter. Back in the 80s, I worked at a place at temporary service. I was basically an office. And the office was just a little rink-dink hotel, or a little rink-dink place. Had some chairs set up. Had a script in front of you. And then it had a telephone. Back then we had the regular old freaking landline telephones. And we would have to call these people, cold call people, usually retired people, and ask them if they wanted to buy a flag, pins, hats, whatever, to support the veterans organization. And I worked it for a while, calling these people. And most of the people just would hang up after about 30 seconds. They'd listen to you for about, 30 seconds and click, gone. And that's what happens when you get older. When you get exposed to enough of that stuff, you finally you get fed up and you just don't care. You're like, yeah, leave me alone. At the same time, around that time, late 80s, early 90s, a big company came out, Intuit. And Intuit did TurboTax, QuickBooks, stuff like that. So everybody had to file their taxes. So basically, Intuit was a software or computers that would do this stuff real quick for them. So there were call centers back then. This is 35 years ago. Call centers. Sit in a call center, cold call all day. People just be standing up. You can feel the tension in the rooms because people were trying to make sales. And I remember working that job for a little while and going, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. Cold calling people to sell them a freaking tax software. And that's why as you get older you realize this system that's been in place for many, many decades is kind of wearing thin. It's wearing out because it doesn't really work. But you have the old school thinkers that think that, you know, it's going to work forever, but it's not. And then you have people, nowadays you have AI that's just completely taking over all kinds of stuff. So everything is artificial intelligence, everything. Everybody has to have all, it's almost imperative that you have a smartphone at this point. If you're still working with a flip phone, well, I mean, good luck. But it's not completely a bad thing, this AI. But at the same time, there's a less sense of personality. People are becoming more robotic in their thinking. And that's one of the things that really kind of is sort of scary for older people. You'll see older people that have still using the old flip phone technology on phones, and they're completely overwhelmed by the AI intrusion of artificial intelligence just rapidly taking over a lot of things in commerce, in certain industries, banking industries, everything. So when people are older, naturally the cognitive skills start to wane, so they're not as quick. And when they're not as quick, they get overwhelmed quickly and they give up. They say, I can't take this stuff. And then they go sit in the easy chair and they forget about it. And in a way, it's by design that older people finally get to a point where they're just ambivalent to everything. Just like, yeah, whatever. Because they realize that this whole society and the whole way that life is all really about the dollar bill, about making money and producing wealth, while a good majority of the people are the ones producing whatever helps to make them wealth. And so you have a lot of people who are just basically swallowed up by technology, by the way things really are in the world. And that's why I have developed that sense of saying there's always tomorrow. And if you have the attitude of there's always tomorrow, that means that you're not going to be running off today make sure you're not missing out on anything. Hopefully that makes sense. It's taken me a long time to get to that point where I just say the things that they say matter really don't matter. Because in 20 years, guys like me will probably more than likely be gone. Could be 10 years. I don't know. And everybody's got an opinion. Everybody wakes up with these same opinions that are roaming through their head. Everyone. Everyone. Unless you're doing a grind like working from some company, and you don't really have time to think. A lot of people have way too much time to think, so they're just thinking about everything. So those are my thoughts on today. It's a glorious day. Beautiful day out there. Good day to go fishing, and the fish are actually starting to bite. But I may get out there and start fishing probably tomorrow, but as of right now, don't think I'm going to be fishing today. Still recovering from my lip situation. So, with that said, enjoy your day. Embrace it. And don't get swallowed up by the demands and the needs, so-called needs of society. All right, thanks for watching.